What is going on, guys? It's Lucas with ProducePerform.com, and we're back with another video. In this one, I'm going to show you how you can take a DI'd acoustic and actually make it usable in your live mixes. If there's something that you should ever maybe overdub is the acoustic, because there's just something weird about a DI acoustic that just doesn't sound good. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. But if you don't have the option to, or if you just don't want to, like the acoustic performance was really good and you don't want to replace it, you don't want to waste all that time doing that. I'm just going to show you some cool EQ saturation techniques that you can do to your acoustic to bring back the life that it loses whenever you use a DI. So let's dig into this. So this is a song. This is "Touch of Heaven" from Cedar Sessions. I think I did the bass one on this song as well. But I'm just going to give you guys a listen to this acoustic real quick. I'm going to solo it. So it sounds like a DI acoustic, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. It just sounds so dry and muddled and weird. And I'm just gonna throw it in the mix real quick, just so you guys can hear it. So if you guys hear it, it's just kind of like, it's not really fitting in with the electric guitar at all, and the keys and everything else that's going on. It just feels kind of out of place almost. And in this song, the acoustic's not a very prominent instrument, so we're going to use it as more of like a texture. And there's something very special about acoustic guitar that it has a really good texture that really fills out there's like a mid-range that it fills out in the mix. And so you definitely want to have it. I would definitely not say ever mute it, because it's very important to your mix. So first things first, I have an SSL channel on it, and I am just doing some EQ, but some pretty heavy EQ. So we are high passing up to 130 hertz. We are actually low passing to 10.5, 10.6. And then I'm actually taking out a ton of high end. So we're sitting on a shelf at 3.3K, and I'm taking out looks like 9 dB, and then we're at 1K, taking out 5 dB, and then we're also at 500 hertz and taking out 5 dB, and then we're at 300 hertz on a shelf, taking out about 4 to 5 dB. And so this is a very drastic change. And you'll see why I take a lot of the high end out, because we're going to bring the high end back in, but in a certain way, because there's something weird about DI'd acoustics where the high end just doesn't sound good. I don't know how to explain it. I think you guys probably know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to solo it, and then I'm just going to bypass the plugin and turn it on to show you guys what this does. Okay, on. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking like, oh, hey, that's a lot lower. It's a lot quieter. It doesn't sound as good or whatever. This is like a cleanup thing. Like, we're literally only taking out the stuff that is wonky, is honky. And so here, I'll even show you that real quick. I'll boost some of these mid-range stuff. Oh, wrong control. Put that back. See, like that. We don't want that. And then this, don't want that. And even this low end, it's just gonna muddy up the mix. So yeah, definitely, first thing first, always clean up your acoustic. Like, get rid of those frequencies that are just terrible. You don't have to do this with the SSL channel. You can do this with like a regular parametric EQ. It doesn't really matter. I just like the SSL channel. I'm kind of a fanboy. And then the next plugin is the CLA 3A, and there's something special about this. You've probably heard people talk about how the 3A shimmers off some top end, like it takes away some top end off of the signal that it's compressing, and it does this so well with acoustic. So I'm going to bypass it and show you what it does. Turn it on. So if you listen to the top end whenever I'm doing that, because it just smooths it out somehow. Take it off. back on. Like, can you explain that to me? It's just something going on behind this, behind these plugins. It's just crazy. The next one is Oxygen. This is a super cool plugin from Black Salt Audio. Basically it's all about adding top end, adding presence. And like I told you earlier, we're going to add some really cool presence to this acoustic guitar. We're going to add it back in after we took some away. So this is a very cool thing. I think it looks like I went to the acoustic guitar preset. I've definitely adjusted it from there though. So you have three main controls. You have this control, which is basically the amount of top end that's like being pushed onto it. You have the Oxygen, which is like at the actual top end EQ push, and then you have a saturation, which again is just saturation, but it's only top end saturation. It's very like there's a lot of things that are going on behind this plugin that I can't explain. It just sounds great. It's very similar to if you guys have Fresh Air by Slate Digital. It's very similar to that. Very cool plugin. So let's just listen and see what this one is doing, and then you guys can check it out. So it's off. I'm gonna turn it on. So we got our presence back. Off. Back on. And just so you guys can hear what's going on, I'm going to pull this Oxygen knob down, just so you guys can kind of hear what's going on. And then I'm gonna do the saturation knob for you guys. And what I really like about this plugin is it's very transparent. Like you can add a ton and it still sounds pretty good. What I like to do is just add a little bit and kind of just go from there. You don't want to overdo it. And then you have three different types of top end, saturation and the EQ that it does. And then you actually have a punch or smooth. I like to use smooth on acoustic. You can use punch, if you're doing like a snare or toms or electric guitar or whatever. Like you just go through the settings. It's such a cool plugin, and it adds top end unlike any other plugin that I've ever used. And then these next two plugins are what for me will save the acoustic, DI acoustic, especially if it's just not great. But before I show you those, I just want to let you guys know I have a gift for you. I have this 5-part framework to creating professional live worship recordings. It's in the link below. It's a PDF. It kind of walks you through everything from pre-production to literally posting the music and getting it out there, distribution. And so I that's my gift to you, absolutely free. So just click on that link below and grab it. And I think you'll love it. All right, so back to the acoustic. So like I said, these two plugins are something extra. So this plugin, I feel like I say this about a lot of plugins, but it's got some juju in the background. It's doing something crazy that I can't explain, and honestly, I don't really need the explanation. But so this is BX Stereo Maker, Brainworks Stereo Maker, and I'm not using any of this stuff. I'm only worried about this stereo knob right here, and I just want to show you guys how crazy this is. So I'm basically going to take the acoustic channel, and if you look where I'm up here on the channel, I'm going to take it and turn it into a stereo channel. So in Studio One, you just click that and it turns it into a stereo channel. And so now when I instantiate this plugin, here, I'll put it in bypass, it's going to think that it's being fed a stereo signal, and then it's going to use the stereo expression setting and actually make it stereo. So this is crazy. Turn it on. And if you guys can't hear that, you're not wearing headphones or you're like not in between two monitors, put some headphones on, get in between your monitors, because it is crazy how much it transforms that acoustic sound. It's unreal. So here, I'm gonna bypass it again. Put it back on. And I'm just gonna pull this up just to show you guys. So that's obviously too wide, but right about here, it's crazy. And so what that does, and the reason that I do this is because we want to leave as much room as we can for the snare, the kick, and the vocal. Those are very important things, and the bass guitar, obviously, that are going to be center, and you want to make as much room for that as you can. Now, some of you are probably like, this creates phasing whenever it goes to mono, right? No. That's the crazy part. So I'm going to leave this channel. I'm going to leave it in stereo. And then I'm going to toggle my master. Sorry, I lost where I was. I'm going to toggle my master to mono. So if you look in the bottom right corner here where my mouse is, I'm going to toggle this to mono. And I'm telling you, there's no loss of clarity. There's no phasing. It's crazy. So I'm going to play it. Put it to mono. Back to stereo. I mean, let me know if you guys hear any loss of clarity or quality on that, because I do not. And that's crazy. Like, there's something special in this plugin. And you can use this plugin on anything. Like, if you have a mono electric, you could make it stereo or keys or pads or whatever. I wouldn't do it on drums. It probably gets a little funky on drums. But all right, the last plugin is a reverb. So basically, we're using a reverb because we want to make it sound like it was recorded in a studio or in a space. With DI, you kind of lose that airflow where the sound is flowing through air and then hitting the microphone. And so we can use reverb, or you can use an impulse response. You can use all sorts of things that just kind of makes it feel like it's in a room and it has some airflow. So I just like using the little plate from Sound Toys. These guys make incredible plugins. This thing is so easy. I just throw it on. I will put the high cut up, the low cut up to, I don't know, what is that? Probably like 600 or so. Just because I don't want it to be a muddy reverb. And then I like having it on the channel because it's like it's in that room. It was recorded in that room, if that makes sense. That's how it makes me feel. Obviously, you can use it as a send to a bus. However you want to do it is totally fine. But I'm going to bypass this and then throw it on so you guys can hear it. Turn it on. Turn it off. So you guys can see it just puts it into a bit of a space. I've got about a 2-second decay time. Mix is about 25 to 30%, and you just adjust these to taste, depending on the actual song that you're working on. It doesn't matter which one. So here, let's we're gonna do this. We're gonna bypass all the plugins. That's what we started with. Turn them on. It's crazy how cool a wide acoustic guitar sounds. And so now we get to throw it in the mix. So I am going to start with it down, and then I'm just gonna gradually bring it up so you guys can hear what it sounds like in the mix. So it's about right there. So I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit. I really like for it to sit back and just be a texture in the mix, because that is by far the best way for it to sound good. Then when we get to like a little bit of a lower part here, And in those lower parts, you can really actually hear the reverb, and it puts it into a space. It kind of melds with everything so much better. And that's it. Like that's it. Like that's how you make a DI acoustic guitar come alive, basically. So if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, obviously all that cool stuff. I'm going to be putting out new videos every single Tuesday. So be on the lookout. Unfortunately, I can only do one video a week for you guys. That's all the capacity I have for. Hopefully in the future I could do more. If you guys want a specific video on something that pertains to mixing, a live worship song, please drop a comment down below. I would love to do any topics that you guys are wanting. I am planning on doing drums very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that. I've already had lots of requests for that. And then last but not least, don't forget I have a gift for you down below, the 5-part framework to making professional sounding live recordings. Absolutely free. Just go pick it up. I know you're going to love it, and hopefully it'll enhance your mixes. And then I just want to encourage you guys that like the world needs more of us. The world needs more Christian audio engineers, Christian musicians, putting out worship music. Worship music is so important, and I feel like the world needs us now more than ever. So just keep going. Like I think that's all I have to say about that. Like just keep going, keep putting out music and using the gifts that God gave you. I'll see you in the next video.